And we just begin here by bringing the attention to the rise and fall of the breath. We just inhale and we exhale. And as we inhale, we bring in fresh life and fresh energy. And with our exhalation, we allow a letting go, a surrender. So we do know that the breath is very important. We know that we need to regulate and control the breath. And that's what we do in yoga and pranayama. We know when we do alternate nostril breath, we're breathing, breathing from both sides of the nostrils, and rather than one, which we do all day long, and it balances the body and the brain and all that, doing that. And when we do ujjayi breath and we constrict at the back of the throat, that gets rid of staleness in the lungs and phlegm in the lungs. It also helps us with our concentration, with digestion, with headaches, sinusitis. So the ujjayi breath helps with all of that. We know the breathing is important. So we do honor it. We just inhale and exhale. So let's try doing 3 big breaths here, and let's do the ujjayi piece. So let's constrict at the back of the throat a little so that you can hear that ocean sound. And we'll begin now and do 3 breaths, inhaling to begin. And then just coming to the regular rhythm of your breath. So that breath diminishes distractions, making you more able to concentrate. So let's bring the arms long by the ears and just extending the hands away and pushing the heels away, lengthening through the sides of the body and taking a couple breaths. And then with your next exhalation, let the arms float down by your sides. If you do have a pillow, you can take that out. And then bring the feet up to the floor one at a time. And let's do a little pelvic tilt. And then releasing that. Again, we press down with the feet and the lower back. And then we release that. And again, pressing down with the feet and lower back. And just releasing that pelvic tilt. And then moving the knees a little side to side. And coming back to the center. And then extend your left arm and leg and stretch through that side of your body. Then point your left foot for a minute. And then bring the toes up. And bring the foot back and the arm down. And then extend your right arm and leg and stretch through that side. And then point your right foot for a minute. Just letting that stretch. And then bring the toes up and bring the foot back and the arm down. And as you press down now with your feet and your lower back, let your legs drop to the right. And move your head to the left and just take a breath as you just do this twisting action, getting rid of staleness in the body. And then coming back up to center with the head and knees. Press down with your feet and lower back. Let the legs drop left and let the head turn right. And then head and knees back up to center. And stretch your arms and legs again. Stretching, stretching, stretching. And then bring your hands to goalposts, fingers pointed towards the ceiling, palms facing ahead. Your feet are hip distance apart. And then make a loose fist with all your fingers and toes. And then spread them wide. And then make a loose fist with all the fingers and toes. And then spread them wide. And then just wiggle the fingers and toes for a minute. And then bring the feet back up to the floor one at a time and draw your hands up so you can see your fingers and their palms are facing forward. And then drop your fingers towards the floor and then press the palms up. And then drop your fingertips down and press the palms up. It's always important not to have the arms back behind the shoulders. And then point the fingers downwards and press the palms upwards. Bring the index finger and thumb together and make some circles as we just work the wrist a little bit and increase some space there. That's the reason a lot of times you have carpal tunnel, that space gets decreased. Go the other way, making those circles with the hands. And then interlace down to the fingers, down to the end of the fingers there, and press your palms upwards. And stretch up, and then let the shoulders settle down to the mat. And now inhale the back of the hands to the chest. Exhale forward. Inhale back. Exhale up. And then bring the hands down by the sides. So let's do bridge pose, Setu Bandha. Remember not to turn your head when you're in the position. So we want you to press your hands down by your sides and walk the hands down the mat and roll your shoulder blades down your back. And then press into your feet and your hands and lift the top of the thighs towards the ceiling. And just take a breath in Setu Bandha. If you like, you can interlace your hands behind. If that is good for you, good for your shoulders. Release the hands and come down one vertebrae at a time. And then stretch your arms and legs again. And then let your arms rest behind you on the floor. Just let them sort of be there, kind of a goalpost. Walk your feet together over to the left, and then without moving your torso. And then cross your right leg over your left with the toes pointed upwards. And now take a hold of your left wrist above your head with your right hand and move the top of your body to the left. And creating that little crescent moon shape, and take a breath. Just creating flexibility in the spine and maintaining flexibility as we age. And then come back to center and crossing your feet. And then walk your feet over to the right together. And then lift the left one over the right and keep your toes up. And grab a hold of your right wrist with your left hand and move the top of your body over to the right. And just take a breath here, feeling that stretch through the sides of the waist. and then uncross your feet and walk your feet back to the center and stretch your arms and legs again. And then bring the arms down by the sides and bring your feet back up to the floor one at a time. And now we'll bring the knees to the chest, just bringing our hands to the top, fingers are pointing at your feet, and make the knees hip distance apart and try to keep your feet lined up with the knees. It may or may not be possible. And then inhale and let your arms lengthen, but keep your hands on your knees. Stretch the shoulders and exhale back. Marky, a little softer, honey. Inhale forward and exhale back. Inhale forward and exhale back. And then just come forward and cross your ankles and widen your knees, leaving your hands where they are. And then begin to make a circle. So go around the front and inhale as you go. And then exhale and pull them back into the chest. And then inhale around and exhale back in. Inhale around the front and exhaling back. And then come to the front and change the cross of your feet. And we'll go back the other way. We'll inhale around the front, stretching the arms. Exhale, squeezing the abdomen. Inhale around the front. Exhaling back. And again, going around the front, lengthening the arms. And squeezing them in, legs to the chest. And then coming back around to the front. And now widen your knees more and bring them in. And if you can, hold the fronts of the shins. If not, hold the backs of the thighs. And just draw that into whatever's comfortable for you. Just giving the lower back a gentle stretch. And now bring your feet to the floor one at a time. And just do here a little pelvic tilt. And release it. Draw your right knee in by interlacing behind your thigh and let your knee be bent. And then rock that into the ribs. So just rocking that in a little, in and out. And now extend that leg up, that right leg up, and interlace behind the thigh. And then point and flex the foot up there. And now bend your knee to your chest with the sole of the foot staying up to the ceiling. So try to keep that foot up as you do it, yep. And then extend that back up and lengthen that. Good. And spread the toes. And now cross that over the other leg so that your right hip and knee are in a straight line and your ankle is crossing above the top of your knee there. And then take your right hand and roll the right thigh away. And now bring one hand to each knee, or if you can't do that, bring a hand behind to the thigh and just draw this whole thing up and hold that in to your chest to the best degree you can. Let that configuration come forward and move it to the left a little, the whole thing. And now begin to circle that around to the right. So just making a circle with that little thing we have going with the legs. Just circling it all around. And coming back to the center. Now, if you're able, and it's within your realm, take your right hand between the two legs and the left behind and extend the left leg up, interlacing behind it. If this is possible for you. And point and flex that left foot a few times. And then push it up to the ceiling. And now drop that left foot down to the floor and cross the other leg all the way over. Take your right hand palm down and take the left hand and draw those knees to the left. And then turn your head to the right. And now bring the head and the knees back to center. And if it's within your realm, draw these cross to your thigh, to your chest. And if you can, take one hand to each shin and move the legs away from each other. Now this may or may not be possible. If you have knee stuff, you want to be careful. And then release that and uncross the legs and bring the feet to the floor. And stretch your body long again. Stretching, stretching, stretching. And then bring your hands down by your sides. Bring the feet up to the floor one at a time. And then draw your knees up towards your chest and hold right behind your thigh, upper thigh there. And just have your soles of your feet straight in front of you and point and flex your feet a few times. And now make some big circles with the feet. And go the other way. And then gently rock that in and out a little bit. And now take the feet down to the floor again. And draw that left leg up, interlacing behind the thigh, knee bent, and gently rock it to the rib cage. And now straighten that leg up, interlacing behind it. Let your arms be long. Try to keep a bend, that's it. Beautiful. And then point and flex that foot up there a few times. And then press it up to the ceiling. Spread the toes. Cross that foot over the other one, so now your left hip and knee are in a line. And take your left hand and move that thigh away, roll it away. And then bring your hands to each knee or wherever you can and come in and draw that in and just hold it in to wherever you're able. Just stretching the lower back. And the hips, opening the hips. And now take it slightly to the right, the whole thing. And now make circles to the left, just coming around and circling a few times around. And now come to the center and bring your left hand through the middle of the legs and the right behind that right leg and extend it up and point and flex it a couple times. And then push that sole up to the ceiling. And now bring that right foot to the floor and cross the other leg all the way over. Take your left hand palm down beside you at a slight T. And take your right hand and draw those knees to the right. And turn your head to the left. And take a couple breaths. Just purifying the body, just ridding it of toxins. And then take the head and the knees back to center and see if you can bring them to your chest, bringing one hand to each shin and moving the shin away from each other. And now release that and bring the feet to the floor. Again, do a little pelvic tilt and release it. And then draw the legs straight up, bringing the hands behind your thighs. Draw them straight up in the air. And just stretching and opening up the back of those knees. And now bend the knees to your chest and let the feet be wider than your shoulders. Bring your hands in prayer mudra in the middle. And then grab the outside of your feet. The soles are up at the ceiling. And if you can't reach the feet, just let them rest on the interior. Let the arms just rest against your ankles. If you can hold it, that's good either way. And rock gently side to side in happy baby. And then just try moving the toes towards each other. So try moving them into like a pigeon toe thing for a second. And just notice how that feels. And then release that and release the feet down to the floor one at a time. Okay, Okay, so now we're going to try something a little different. So we're just going to cross the feet like we do like this, like we, in the air. And then we're going to bring our hands around the sides and to the tops of the feet like that. If you can reach it. If not, just hold your knees or don't worry too much about it. So we're going to cross it right and just holding the top. And then we're just going to begin to rock a little. So just see if you can rock a little. Maybe you can. And if it's possible, either rock or come up to a seated position. Good. And then just coming here to the seated position, Sukhasana. So just holding the tops of your knees. Let your head drop as you inhale and as you exhale and bring the belly back to the spine. And then inhale, lift up. Exhale, round. Inhale up. Exhale, round. Once more, inhale and exhale. And then coming up to the center. Bring the fingertips so they're shoulder distance apart out in front of you. And press into the fingertips and lift your chest. So again, just making space in the hands, so cup the fingers. Just push it, and that will give you some strength in the fingertips and make some room in the wrist. So a lot of people are on the computer a lot, so this helps. And then come back up. Bring one hand up by your ear and drape it over your head and move your head to the side and stretch your neck. And then let that come up and lean to the side. Yeah, that shoulder, I know. Sometimes the shoulders can be difficult. And then bring that down. Bring the hand up and drape it over the head and move that to the side. And then come up and lean to the side. Perfect. Just keep the head with the arm. Don't let the head drop too much. And then coming down. And now change the cross of your legs for a minute. And bring your hands about 4 inches apart in front of your throat as we open the throat chakra. Inhale. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Exhale. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Up and down. Inhale and exhale back. Yeah, just opening up that throat chakra a little. Take one hand to the opposite knee, lift your spine, and twist, and let that other arm rest behind you. And just keep your head in line with your chest. That looks fantastic. Good, just taking a breath there. Come back to center, and take the other hand to the opposite knee, relaxing that other arm behind you, and keeping the spine straight. And then coming back to the center. So let's just bring the legs out and tap those out for a minute. And then with them hip distance apart, bring the hands forward, come down and lift the chest. So coming to wherever you're able, pressing down with the backs of the legs. Good. And then coming back up. Let's just turn sideways on the mat for a minute, like this. So you're on your mat long. So we'll just try bow pose today. So in bow pose, we'll bring the hands here first. Feet are hip distance there. And then as we raise the legs up, we can take the hands to the floor and bring the arms up. As we just lift up with the chest and the legs. So just doing whatever you can, maybe just planting the seed, and then coming down. Good, so that's a nice strong pose for us. Let's come up to the knees. And if you need a drink of water, it's good to always take a second to do that. And then we will come into table pose, and we'll bring the wrist right beneath the shoulders and the knees right beneath the hips. They're hip distance apart, and we'll inhale the head up to a flat back, and then we'll exhale and round and press down into the hands and feet. And then inhale, come up, and then exhale, round, and again up, and again rounding, and then coming to a flat back. See if you can turn your wrists to the side so they're pointing to the side of the mat, if that's feasible for you. So again, just stretching the hands, and then bring the hands back and walk them forward of your shoulders a few inches. And press into the knuckles so that you'll lift out of the wrist and tuck the toes, and then straighten the legs and bring the back of the body up and come into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. The neck is gentle. Let the neck be gentle and let the head hang between the arms. You can lower your heels to any degree that they will go to the floor. And we just get some nice fresh blood flow to the brain here. And now we're going to come into the top of that push-up. Now if you can't, just bring your legs down in the back. Modify everything. And we're going to move to a side plank. And you can do that by either dropping the back knee and coming like this. Make sure the arm stays here and does not go back there behind. Or you can just come into a side plank, on the sides of your feet. So just depending where you are, and we're all in different places. So just perfect. Just giving that a try. And then coming down, and just try moving the other way, either dropping the back knee or coming up on the sides of your feet. So we're building strength in the core, and then coming down, and bring your toes together and your knees apart, and rest your head in child's pose. And making sure that your knees are nice and wide apart so that the belly can go through and you can rest there a moment. And then we'll come up. So let's come back here and bring your right foot through the middle. And the left knee is now back behind the hip. So this is a little more challenging. So for right now, just rest your hands at the top of your thigh. Don't push on your knee, so stay up a little higher there so you're in the thigh. And first of all, bring your hands to prayer here. Remember to use the top of that left foot to kind of balance you by pushing down. And then lift the spine and twist. And bring that opposite knee, elbow to the opposite knee there. And just take a breath here. A little bit of balance going on. And then come back here to the middle and come into jet airplane and just bring the arms way back behind you. Stretching the arms. And then come back to that original position. And if it's within your realm, tuck the toes of the left foot and come into a high lunge there. So definitely a little more demanding. And then bring your hands and your back leg down and switch feet and take the other one forward. And just bring your hands to the top of that leg. Knee is stacked right over the ankle. Take the hands to prayer position. Lift the spine. Remember to bear down on that other foot to help you balance. And then spin your arms over to the other side there to whatever degree you're able. Very good, very good, very good. Come to the middle and come into jet airplane, bringing the arms back and stretching the fingertips and the arms. Now bring your hands to the top of your thigh, rest them there. Tuck the toes of the right foot and bring that leg up into a high lunge. Just building some strength in the legs. And if you can, just step forward and come up, or come up any way that you're able. And then when we come to standing, we'll just bring the feet even and parallel. Beautiful. Just lining them up, making sure they're on the same plane and everything. And then take the tops of the thighs back and extend from the back, the pelvis, right down into the feet. So just extending right down. And then inhale your arms up overhead. And reach up, raise the rib cage in Urdhva Hastasana, tall mountain. And now come down into a forward fold to wherever you're able. And looking back between your legs. And taking a breath. Uttanasana, forward fold. And then inhale and come up. Raise the hands overhead and come up on the toes. And just strengthening our feet and our ankles and everything. And then coming down. Bring the arms here and then move them one away from the other. Keeping that nice even. And then come back and go the other way. And now come back to the center. And just bring your hands behind you and take a hold of your arms. So just take one arm with the other one. And just hold that. And draw your shoulder blades together. And just stretch that. And then release that and try the other way. And for me, I can reach further up on one arm than I can on the other. So very often one side different than the other. And now bring the hands up in the air. Bring one to the opposite elbow and let the other fingertips drop down towards your back. Just opening that up. And if you have shoulder stuff, it's you may not be able to go that far. So just doing whatever we can. Extend the arms up. Take it the other way. One hand to the elbow, the other down into the middle of the back. Good. And then releasing down. Turn your hands back. And then roll them forward. And then turn them back. And then roll them forward. And then shake them out. So let's do warriors. So let's step wide and do some of that. And then we'll turn one foot out all the way. And bring the heel of the back foot out a little so that the toes come in. And standing just as you were facing me, extend your arms. And then bend your forward knee and bring your gaze out over your front arm. Good, nice. In Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2, we're just long and strong. We keep that back leg engaged. It wants to droop sometimes. Bring your front arm down. Keep your knees centered over your foot and extend your other arm over to whatever degree you're able. Keep the chest up. Don't let that sink. Come back up to Warrior Two, and then straighten your front leg. And reach forward, and then come into Trikonasana, stacking one shoulder over the other. Trikonasana is glorious. It opens up the throat, the neck, the chest, the hips, strengthens the legs and the torso. It's a great little pose. And coming up, hands to hips, feet to the center, walk to the center. Let's inhale and roll the shoulders back, and exhale back. Inhale up, exhale back. Inhale up, exhale back. Shrug your shoulders up and down. And then inhale to your ears. And exhale, ha. Ha. And let's step wide to the other side. So we turn that opposite foot out all the way, if you can. And sometimes the knees will prevent that. And then sliding the toes in a bit there. And extending the arms. Good. And then bending the forward knee and looking out over that front hand. The arm is long and strong. Let your shoulders relax without dropping your hands, your arms. And just let the arm be long and strong, but the hand be somewhat relaxed. It's just receiving the action. And then bring the front arm down and extend over as we strengthen that leg, as we put a little weight onto that leg. And then back to Warrior Two. Straighten your front leg. Reach forward as you extend the spine and coming into triangle pose. Good. And then coming up, hands to hips and to the center. Very, very good. Okay, let's do our little rejuvenation flow, which we haven't done in a little while, but I think most of you will remember it. So we inhale up, exhale, fold. Arms up halfway, not past your shoulders. Exhale down. Bend your knees and push and come up. Inhale. Exhale to prayer. Inhale. Fold. Inhale, arms up. Exhale down. Bend the knees. Inhale and push up. And exhale to prayer. Inhale. Exhale. Wings up. Wings down. Inhale, push. Exhale, prayer. Inhale. Fold. Arms up. Arms down. And push. Inhale up. And exhale to prayer. Good. Let's step very wide now. So we're going to do a wide-legged forward fold, Pasvarita Pasvakonasana. So we extend the feet as much as we can, and we try to keep the weight evenly distributed in the feet so that you're not dropping into your arches, your ankles are caving. You don't want too much on the outside edge of the foot, so we try to keep that pretty much even. And bring your arms up by your ears there just to get that nice spine extension. I like to do that. And then as we come down, we bring the fingers to the floor if you're able. And if not, you can bring them to your legs, whatever's comfortable. And just coming down and looking back between the legs. In this this wide-legged forward fold, which is calming to the nervous system. And taking a breath or two. And then coming up and just walking or hopping together to the center. Let's try our chair pose. It's a strong pose. There's certain poses I like to just keep up, just to make sure we're maintaining that nice strength. Such a great pose for endurance. So let's bring the hands first to this position. And then we'll bend the knees. They're nice and even and parallel, and we're bending them and trying to stay as much as we can even. Of course, Hatha Yoga is much concerned with alignment, so we do try to do that. And just sitting as though we were sitting in a chair and taking a breath. And then come up. Bring your arms by your ears facing each other as we enter the full pose, and we bend the knees. Uttanasana. Chair pose. Just taking a breath. Taking a few breaths. And then coming up and exhaling down. Good work. So we'll try a balance pose. Let's do a couple of balance poses here. So let's bring our arms up facing the front like this. And then we'll just lift up on one leg there. And gate pose, and just seeing if we can balance there for a minute. Of course, getting that nice gaze point too. And then releasing that down. And coming up the other way, bringing that other foot up. And then bringing that down. And let's do flamingo. Take the arms here and step one foot toe back on the floor behind you. And when you're feeling ready, you can lift that toe up off the floor. And just balancing like the bird. And then come down and bring the wings up again and step back with the other foot and lift that off the ground. Good. Again, just getting your drishti, your gaze point. And then bringing that down. Let's inhale and raise the toes up off the floor. Just lifting and separating and spreading the toes. And then exhale down, bring the toes to the floor, and come up on your toes. So bringing the heels off the floor. And exhaling down. So let's try a little thing we call cross crawl. So we bring one arm up here and the opposite leg. And then bring that leg down and bring the opposite one up. So we'll just go, we won't balance, we'll just go for a little bit. So just going up and down, up and down, whatever's your own pace. And this just moves the energy around the body. So it kind of helps us to be energetically better inside there. And it's always good to cross over the sides of the body. It just makes connections in the brain. And then coming down and just shaking the hands out there, shaking the legs. Okay, we're going to come down for our meditation and our Savasana. So let's come to a seated position. Real just So just while we're here, we're going to do 2 rounds, 2 breaths of the Ujjayi breath. So to start, we're going to bring, it's good for concentration, that Ujjayi breath, but for now we're going to add the Hakini mudra to it. So just bringing our fingertips like this all together. And then just taking it here. So this mudra is for concentration. And so let's close or gently soften the eyes and bring the attention to the crown of the head, right above the physical body, that crown chakra. It's actually, the color there is no color, but we kind of make it like gold or silver or white or whatever you like to think of, this beautiful color above the crown of your head. This is the place of our trust and of our devotion. And sometimes if that crown chakra is open too much, we're just living in our heads all the time. So it's good to bring that down. How do we bring it down? With meditation and yoga. So the seed sound is Om. Let's do 2 Oms. Inhaling now. And now release the hands and bring yourself to Savasana. Laying down with the palms up. If you like a pillow under your head, you can do that. And just taking the attention back to the rise and the fall of your breath. Once again, we allow any concerns to move away and we just stay with the breath for now. The breath is the vehicle of the consciousness. Wherever the breath goes, the consciousness will follow. Soften the soles of your feet. And just let the feet roll away from each other. Let them relax. Release the toes. And relax the ankles. Notice the weight of your legs as they rest on the bolster. Relax your knees and soften the hips. Rest the back of the body, softening it into the mat, relaxing the shoulders down away from the ears. Relax your belly. Soften the heart area. Picturing a beautiful green and pink swirling light all around the heart. Opening that chakra. Soften the neck and relax the facial muscles. And release the tongue from the roof of the mouth. Relax your forehead. Relax your jaw. Soften the eyeballs and soften the corners of the eyes. And now rest your mind. And while you rest, I'll read to you. May we remember the sacred gift of our breath to ground and comfort us, and to remind us of our capacity for spaciousness. May we choose hope for our lives and the world. And may we remember that we are divinely connected to each other and are here to love, support, and care for each other. now gently wiggle your fingers and your toes. And if it feels good for you, you can roll to your side and just rest there for a moment. And then, keeping your peace, bring yourself up to a seated position. And bring the hands to prayer mudra at heart center and lift the sternum and bow the head. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way home. Namaste, friends.